Welcome to Positive Business Action, the podcast where we explore real strategies, real stories, and real solutions to help you grow a stronger, more profitable business. Each episode, we break down practical ideas that you can actually use, from marketing and guest experience to operations, team culture, and long-term growth. Whether you run a farm, manage an attraction, or just love the business side of making memories for guests, you're in the right place. Let's jump right in. Welcome back to Positive Business Action, the number one agritourism podcast with Hugh McPherson and myself, John Mayers.
I'm my mother's favorite son, too.
Today we are joined with an amazing guest, Channing Muller. Would you like to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about what you do? And
Who is this Channing person?
Absolutely. It is not Tatum. It is Channing Muller. But yeah, so I am the founder of DCM Communications, which is a marketing and PR firm that specializes in working with people in the event industry. So everybody that is here, just how I got my start in my career was as a journalist, but walking up to strangers at events and asking them questions and then turning that into a news story. And so over time, I kind of parlayed these things together as I kept talking to event people, put it together with marketing, and realized there is so much to be learned here. And so much about events is like, it's business. It's just it's an in-person way to market whatever your brand is or whatever your products are. And now I close that gap between the marketing and sales aspects so that you get more attendees, you get the right people coming in, they buy faster, and we keep it.
Gotcha. And so what was the event when it all clicked and you were like, these people don't understand. I must become a marketing person so that they can hire me to do this. They're never going to figure this out.
That is every event, I would say I look through a different lens now. And I just say, like, there are opportunities to improve. But in the beginning, a big part of it was when I was on the journalism side of things. I was working for a trade publication in the special event industry. And so when I say I got really good access, like, I got to go to Super Bowl twice. And in addition to that, all of these big brands like Nike and Pepsi and Playboy and Maxim and like all of these different people, they do week-long events before Super Bowl. And I got the names and numbers of the event planners that had to pull all this together and design an experience so that why would Tide decide, for example, to do a football activation? Like, why do we care about this? So I started
asking
a lot of questions. Right?
It's obviously grass stains.
Yeah. But it's like, how do you get people to want to come and hang out with a bunch of laundry people all day? Like what they were doing. So I asked a lot of questions and I figured it out. And one of the things that I noticed was I'd been to so many events. Like in my first 10 years of my journalism/communications career, I did the math. I went to more than 2,570 events. And that's a lot of them. So I got to see in person what people would do. And then I would look online at a company, either their website or their social media. And I'm like, there's a massive disconnect here. Like, I know what you produce in person, but this digital presence is not showing it, which means when somebody else wants to come to your event or you want to get more clients, if they can't see digitally what you can do offline, they're not going to be interested in having that same conversation. They're going to check their work. And so I was like, let me help make the online experience look exactly like what you're going to provide so people know what to expect working with you.
Well, let's hang on there because I think some people would be under the impression, because of how much our industry studies Disney and things like that, that all you have to do is make sure that the event is really good. And what you're saying is the events were really good, but nobody could tell from the outside, even if inside they were having a great time.
It is because it was, on site, that is, you want to provide the absolute best experience possible. But if you ever want to either work with someone else again or have that event again, which is the case, right, for all of your farms and listeners here, like, if you want to do that again, other people need to know what they missed out on. We need to tap into FOMO. That's how you grow. That's how you get people to walk away and say, oh my gosh, I have to buy it. Like, when is next year opening? Add me to the wait list because I have to do this again. And next time I'm bringing 5 friends with me. right? And the way to do that is to show people what actually happened. Because otherwise they're reading, copy on an event page and it's telling them the things to expect. And it's like, okay, well, now, AI has entered the chat. AI can make anything sound amazing, literally, right? Like you could write the most beautiful words and then I have this wonderful experience in your head. And then I show up on site. And if it's like, wah, wah, like this doesn't work, I need to see what I'm going to experience and I will buy faster.
So tell us, talk us through kind of the timeline of. We did an event presentation one time, and Jennifer from Lewis Agritourism or Lewis Farms in Michigan, she had the idea of breaking your event into anticipation, the experience, and then the the remembrance of that experience, right? Into those three categories. And it sounds to me like I guess walk us through how you see what happens in anticipation when you're trying to build an event. And maybe like for us, for our Lavender Festival, we've been doing this. This will be like the 5th year, right? So we're
Mhm.
trying to figure out how do we build that anticipation. And then, the experience part, I feel like we understand. And then have you ever seen anybody do a great job after the event, the recall portion?
Yeah. So we'll use the Lavender Festival as a great example of this, right? In an ideal world, you have video content and photos from last year. Okay. That is all of the content you're going to reuse going forwards to promote the next year. This is why it is so important to have someone or multiple people on site taking photos, taking videos, right? Showing the activations themselves. And that means what is the setup for any activity people can do? How beautiful, stage the shots of any food that they're going to buy, right? Let me see what the vendor booths are set up like this. Then I also want to see the next step is people interacting with these things, then also interacting with each other. Because you can use the beautiful stage photos of here's everything of what this looked like before they come in your initial marketing when you start to announce it, right? Because you need to create what that year's brand is going to look like, right? You have the brand for the festival overall. How are we going to use the most recent photos we can to showcase this is what people can expect if they were the very first attendee to walk in, what is going to look like for them, right? And then what you do is you start to then mix in, okay, tickets are now open for this. Show the pictures, and this is on the website, across your social media, in your emails, of people having fun. Because you can have the absolute most beautiful experience. It could be the most perfect day ever. But the whole reason that people come to an event is that they want to have a good time. Yes, they want to eat food, they want to get whatever it is that they're gonna get when they're there, but overall, if they see everybody is here having a good time, they have things to do, they're gonna wanna be a part of that. You really have to tap into the FOMO of, "How did I not know about this last year? Why is this the first time that I'm hearing it?"
Yeah, yeah. And we actually do. We have Janelle who comes to our festivals, and she's our social media person. You
Yeah,
could kind of be twins. You guys could be
Yeah,
twinsy,
that's true. That is true.
take
twinsy
that.
little beautiful people. That'd be really lovely. But I don't know. I think that's an important message to assign somebody who specifically, in my case, is not Hugh because I'm busy running the event.
Yep,
Right? Is not Michelle who's busy running check-in. Is not right. Their job
their job
is
has to
to
be
take.
just content.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if
yeah.
anyone had been at the NAFTMA convention this past winter, right? I was the one running around in red every single day. All my job was to capture content. That's it. Everybody else on staff had something else to do. I was there with both my phone as well as my professional camera capturing everything, right? Because you need someone to focus on that. Otherwise, the first thing that happens is that you do, as the event professionals, in this case, you do what you're supposed to do, which is focus on the guest experience, and the capturing of content's the first thing to fall by the wayside because the last thing you want is, oh, I'm sitting here helping a guest. Sorry, can you hold on 1 minute? Let me record what's happening right behind you. Like it's an awkward interaction, but you need someone else capturing all of that because otherwise your event is over. You're like, well, crap, how are we going to market this next year? So every event is your opportunity to create marketing content.
Yeah.
And it's something you
Yeah.
need to tap into, and designating one person to be like, this is it. Here's all the things I want you to look for. Here's a shot list. And then I also want you to go with your gut and focus on interactions with people. Take it from 6 different angles. You can delete things that you don't like later, but you have to capture it there, and you
In
will
that.
always have marketing content.
Oh, so Channing, I want to know, can I cheat? Can I cheat? What I'm thinking here, Johnny, is we put
Ooh.
everything in place for the Lavender Festival the weekend before, and then we just invite all of our buddies over and make them do all of the things as if the festival, it's like buying one free extra social media weekend. Channing, am I allowed to cheat?
I would say you're allowed to do wonderful, inventive shortcuts to get what it is that you need to.
It doesn't sound as dirty. I don't know. Now I don't want to do it. It sounds
I am
like
a
something regular and
solution-oriented
corporate.
person,
You
right?
took all the fun and made it corporate.
Well, because at the end of the day, actually, yes, thank you. I will take that as a compliment because fun is so wonderful. Fun is so wonderful, but an event has not accomplished its mission if the dollars are not in the bank. It all has to be a profitable event. So you need to make sure, as much as I focus
Amen.
on the creative, like I want to have the best food there and I want to have, oh, this really fun ride and I want to have this happening over here for kids. All of that is wonderful, but it has to come down to the numbers. There are times for marketing events which need to just break even, but a event really needs to be driving a profit, right? It should be a sales experience. So someone, yes, needs to be paying attention to all of it.
I had no idea she was also a minister because you preach, sister. Lord, bless her.
Yes, I talk to my clients about this a lot because they're like, "Oh, we want to do this with marketing or we could do this." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. How are the lead before we like overhaul your entire website or come up with this whole brand new thing, like the leads you're getting, are they converting? If not, why? Or what happens when a lead comes in?" Because if you can't answer that whole next funnel, it's like we need marketing and sales have to talk to each other, or you can have a beautiful website, you can have the most beautiful social media posts. But if no one is taking the next step, it is just beautiful, but it's not effective. And I want to make sure everything is actually effective.
So I feel like farms don't think about leads. And I want you to, I mean, so if I were thinking about, we used to go to one of our software product conferences, and it was a couple of $100 and, they had like a sales funnel and whatever. But I think sometimes with these attractions where we're hoping that somebody brings, that the daughters bring their mom to the, Lavender Festival or whatever. I don't know that we're thinking of them as leads. So can you walk us down like an event of kind of farm scale? Like what does it look like for a farm to start thinking about people as leads?
So change the name, the word lead to potential attendee. That's all it
But that
is.
that has more letters and John's struggling.
But it's a lot easier. You're like a mom, like, okay, let's say I'm going to this and it's like you want me to bring 3 of my girlfriends. Okay, that's wonderful. They are prospective attendees. They're also leads. It's just a marketing term versus the human standing in front of me. Same concept though,
So
right?
how do we treat them? How would we treat them from, let's say they scroll by our social media or they land on the website? How are you looking at a public attendance event lead system?
So the way that I would think about this from a event marketing standpoint specifically is that your first communications go to past attendees. That is your inherent list, right? So you always want to start with email marketing, should always be the first step, whether it is an announcement of a new attraction, a food, a entertainment element that is coming, tickets that are about to open, ticket prices that are about to change. Whatever announcement it is that you feel you need to push out into the world, the people who have already attended are the ones that get the message first because they literally have bought into your brand. So they need to get something before everybody else. Right. And that's information. That's the early bird ticket price, whatever the case may be. Okay. Raffle opportunities, bring a referral program. Oh, it's wonderful. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, all right. Now,
Mhm. Yeah. You want to first talk to everybody that's already invested with you. Okay. Then it is very possible from attending other events, being on somebody's podcast, yourselves, right? Talking with somebody else, doing a collaborative post that you have people on your email list who have not attended an event Or let's say they came to a Halloween event, but they have not come to the lavender festival. Guess what? It is a past client, a past attendee for events overall, but not for the lavender festival. So they become a prospective attendee, aka a lead for the lavender festival. So first is everyone who attended lavender last year. Then it's everyone who's attended any other event of yours, but not the lavender festival. And with those, the message has to be a little bit different because they don't know what they're getting into, right? Lavender people, you tell them, hey, you did this last year. We're amping it up this year. We're changing this. We're keeping all of your favorite things, right? Easier to sell them because they know the experience. The ones who have attended any other event, but not that festival, you tell them, hey, you've seen us do these other things. Here's what you can expect at Lavender. But you have to give them a little bit more detail because you have to be able to answer the question for them. Why should they come to Lavender and not what they did before, right? Or why should they remember, because you're going to email me in later, why should they now factor 2 events at your farm into their budget as opposed to just the one annual one that they do, right?
Right.
So everyone that's attended any other event, those are leads. They are leads for the one event that you're trying to push right now. They are prospective attendees. Then you
So,
go, yes,
so I was going to say, I would bet that there are a lot of people out there who say, yeah, I do that. I throw them all into one big list and I jam out as many emails as possible.
yeah, biggest annoyance
The
ever.
way, right? Is that the DCM communications manner? Is that what you recommend? Totally 100%? Or?
It tends to be the manner that people come to us to fix because they're not getting the sales that they want, or people are unsubscribing when they really don't need to be, right? It is a very common thing that you've got a big list. Let me first by tell people, you're not insane. You're not the worst person ever. So many people do this because you get short on time and you're like, I just got to get something out. Like, I just can't deal with the rest of it.
I
Okay.
have done it. Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Guilty.
everybody has done this. Everybody has done this, but it is the spray and pray kind of situation. I'm going to throw this at everybody and we're going to see what happens.
Right.
Okay. Will people open it? Yes. Will you get the return on the effort it spent to put out there? No. Because when you can tell someone, I know, and you literally say in there, I know you've attended Lavender before. We're so excited to see you back. That's different from, hey, you need to attend the Lavender event, right? Lavender Festival, you've got to show up for this. Well, if I've been for the past 4 years, and it's like, well, of course I'm going to show up for this. Don't pretend like the money I spent with you didn't mean anything.
Mm.
As whether you are emotional people or not, we make buying decisions based on necessity and our emotion. So if you've invested money with people and they don't seem to ever acknowledge that, even as simply as, oh, we missed you this year, or we're so excited to see you back, is that going to make or break? Not necessarily, but if you customize and say, hey, we did miss you, we're so ready to see you again, that little extra effort is going to have an emotional reaction. It's like, oh, warm and fuzzy. Yay. They paid attention. My money is not nothing, right?
Right.
Because whether someone spent $5 to show up or they're spending $75, like you don't know what that is in their scale of life. It matters. Being seen as a human that is showing up and investing in your business matters.
And it makes it feel a little more personal for them. Like, oh,
Mhm.
they, like you said, recognize that I was there.
Yeah. And it's a little detail that also it helps just so much more when you can customize that message. Your list to each one of the different segments will be smaller, but your open rates are higher and your click through rate will be higher because customized message is this is for me. Let me take the next step. The getting into a little bit of the technical weeds here for you. The better open rates you have and the better click through rates that you have, your email service provider, i.e., whatever software you're using to send it out, the better those are, you get a better score across all of these systems, which means they're going to make sure your deliverability is good. And they're going to say that your domain, right, which is like your at whatever, your website address, your domain is a green flag. If you're constantly sending out a mass email that's not getting a lot of open rates, that's going to hurt your service provider score, which will hurt your domain, and you're not going to get as great of deliverability. You could eventually get more spam complaints. More spam complaints you get, guess what? Eventually, you don't get to use email marketing systems anymore because people are like, you're literally just spamming everyone and they're going to throw you into like the Gmail junk folder or the promotions one versus the inbox.
That's right. We participated in the email apocalypse last year, and my list went from 21,000 to 1,500
Okay.
before we could start rebuilding deliverability.
It
We
makes
have our
it,
email that we're going to be on next week,
yeah.
so all right, we had to hire people to fix it.
Yeah, it takes, and it's one of those things that if you don't know better, you don't know. And then you find this out and you're like, oh my goodness, right? Think about how you look at anything on the internet and you decide not to buy something. You put it in your cart, you don't get it. And then all of a sudden you start getting emails. Oh, here's 15% off. Don't you want to come back and buy that? Oh, you forgot about this thing. So
That's
like,
right. I do that to save money on a regular basis. I never buy anything the first time I put it in my cart. Rifty! I'm Scottish. I'll pinch a Lincoln, won't I?
but also they don't care. It's fine because they've marked it up 3 to 4 times anyway. So even with that discount, they're still making a profit. It's fine. They got it, right? But
That's
it's
what I feel like.
customized emails just make such a difference, especially when it comes to events. You're providing an experience. You're not just giving them like, oh, okay, I really wanted that t-shirt. Now I got it. I'm not, I mean, unless it's your favorite band or something, or you've never had one. You're not
Or at
emotionally
least my
attached to a
fun
t-shirt.
part.
No,
That's a t-shirt all people should be buying. Just as a quick heads up.
fantastic. Love the plug.
Right. My gosh, it's so amazing. I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter, so I'm used to being dismissed by women. This is
Whatever makes you happy here, there you go. I was like, well done. Well done. But also, props for taking the opportunity to pitch the sale. Because that's another thing that people forget is they're like, oh, check out all the cool things we're doing. Then you get to the landing page. I want to see 5 opportunities on a single page for me to buy a ticket. You tell me something cool, sign up now. You see, like, you tell me one more thing that's cool, save my spot, right? Save my spot, get a ticket, sign up, like register, get my pass, whatever it is. Every time you tell them one thing, that is one opportunity to convert them to say yes. Make it as easy as possible to get people to buy the ticket.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now you're talking crazy talk. From all of my emails, shouldn't I just send them to the homepage of my entire website?
Also, something that happens a lot and can be very easily fixed, right?
What landing page?
Yes.
And we're just decoding this a little bit. It's possible. John did teach me about that last week, but just in case people don't know our lingo, our secret
Yes.
internal marketing lingo, what do you mean by don't just send them to my front homepage?
Right. So you want to think about all of your event marketing as a conversation. The subject line piques their interest enough to get them to open the email, right? Because every element of this process only has one action, one goal with it. Subject line's goal is to get them to open the email. The
So a great one
message
would
is,
be like, hey, more stuff from Maple Lawn Farms.
yep, that's the most perfect one I've ever heard in my life.
I think she's being facetious. My radar's turned on now.
Something tells me you may be right.
So subject line gets them to open. The message inside intrigues them enough to click through to learn more. If you, pun intended, give away the farm in the email, they have no reason to click through. Give them just enough to be like, oh my gosh, wait, I need to see more. I want to learn more. I need to find out the answer to that ridiculous trivia question you've posed in there. And then when they click through, they should go directly to a customized page, AKA a landing page, because it's where they land, literally on the site. It was the first time they hit the site, they land on this page. They get there and it continues the conversation you started in email. So if you're
All right,
intrigued, we've got
maybe
3
the
things
trivia
coming up.
question. What are
Yes.
some other things in that email that would get them, that would be part of like telling a story? Like what would be other things that would get them out of that email to go click and find out the rest? Trivia question was one.
Trivia question. Oh my gosh, so much fun, right? You could also do, and I want to be very clear about this when we're talking about event marketing specifically, your email has one goal, one, not here 5 different things you could do or 5 different pages. You can have the same link to your landing page in 5 different spots. It could be in text, in the photo, in a button, again in another photo. But the goal of your email is to get them to your event page, which is your landing page, right? So you don't want to have links to anything else on your blog or any other. It's not a newsletter. It's a specific, this email's goal is to showcase, for example, the activities we'll have for kids, whatever the kids' activities are. And be like, and the subject line could be something along the lines of, your kid's gonna want to do this on Saturday, or kids making you crazy, this will fix it. And they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, what is that? I have to know right now. You open the
Well, it
email.
seems like you have a lot of trouble with kids.
I have a lot of friends who love to procreate, so I have a lot to listen to. It is, they're like full-time cruise directors, right? Like, kids like activities. You have to keep them busy during spring break, during off hours. Like, what are we going to do to keep them entertained? And having been to also more of these farms, I mean, all you have to say is orange cannon, and I'm going to sign up to be there nevertheless. Child of some kind. So
Yes.
either
Yes, I
way,
like
talk
to,
about,
I think the quote is, you can only sell one thing to one person at one time, right?
yeah. Yep. So you can also think about the different, and this would be another way to segment your list if you want to target women for the Lavender Festival. Be like, girlfriends event, right? Grab your girlfriends, do this on Saturday, or say like save this date for your girls' night out or girls' day out in that case, right? They open it and they find out, what do these 4 things have in common? And you show large pictures, like if you took a screenshot of where I'm at right now, but you only show the yellow books, you only show the hat that's right here. You don't give the whole picture, you give it snippets of it. What do these
Mhm.
have in common? And then they have to click through to find out. And when they get to that landing page, what they see is the compilation image. So it can
Yeah.
be close up, zoomed in things. It can be, let me tell you about the food and beverage that's coming up, right? Or we totally revamped the menu. Check out what we're going to be serving. Make it something that's interesting that you don't want to miss. So it's like, well, I have to see that photo. Or it's a photo that has like a blurry effect on it, and you put on click to reveal. So they click on it, they get to the landing page, and they see that same photo, but now it's perfectly crystal clear. The message was enticing enough to get them to the page. They see that continued conversation. Here's that really crystal clear, beautiful photo of like this creative beverage service that you're coming up with. And then there's more information about the event. So you got them to the landing page, they saw the rest of what they were intrigued by, and then it's, don't you want to be a part of this? Buy a ticket here. Oh, wait, here's 5 other things. So if they keep scrolling, every fact that you share, every engagement point, every opportunity for selling, there's a chance for them to click and buy a ticket right away.
Gotcha. I was thinking about adding glitter to our princess drink, and then it can swirl on our landing page.
Super fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
All right.
Super
And
fun.
Nobody likes princess drinks more than John.
oh, I was gonna say,
That's
where are you going with this?
Well, there you go. A subject line for that would be like, what, like something along the lines of like, what does everybody hate the most about glitter? You don't have to worry about it now. Or glitter without the mess. Check out what we're going to do for you. Something like that.
yes.
It gets them
It
intrigued
definitely
because,
has
like,
to have glitter, though.
There you
huh?
go.
Definitely has to have glitter.
Yeah. Well, it is mentioned that. I mean, because like glitter is a lot of fun, but it's also a mess to clean up with. But like edible glitter makes things really pretty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how can you use like the email subject line or even in the email and on the landing page to be like a referral to bring other people? Like you mentioned, like
Oh,
girls'
yeah.
night out or something like
Yeah.
that.
So it depends on what who it is that you're going to, right? So if we're going to go with like the girls' night out scenario, I would actually create a custom landing page that looks just like the rest of, like, you can have a main event page, right? That tells all the details, that is a catch all for people. If you decide, you know what, I want to do this like girls' day out experience, duplicate your landing page and then change the H1, which is the title that goes in the very top, to talk about your next girls' day out on whatever the date is. And you just take the same framework, but you customize the language to speak to women and their girlfriends. So the design elements are there, but you're speaking to that audience. So whenever you send an email to Ladies Night Out, or you make a social post about this is the best way to spend time with your girlfriends, you're sending them to that landing page. They can still buy tickets. Anyone who, any of the men that see this type of event or find out like whether they see it on social or they get an email that's more targeted to families go to the main landing page. Ladies Night Out goes specifically to one that has been tailored to their language.
That's right. I feel like what
And
we need to do is dig through our thousands and thousands of pictures of guys who got dragged along to the Lavender Festival and just get all of the sad guy pictures and make a
yes,
landing page for dudes that are like, look how happy she is.
right? 100%. That would be amazing. But like lean into that, right? Be like, yes, it's going to be the most miserable 4 hours of your afternoon, but look at how happy she is. And we all know what that means. And use like some double entendre there, right? Use emojis to be like, want to be a hero? Yes, these guys had to suck it up, but here they are. Or you showcase all their pictures in like a reel. Be like, what do all these guys have in common? They made their significant other so happy. And here's how for only whatever the ticket price is. The thing is, it's relatable, right? So, like from a social standpoint, that's what people want is they want to be able to see themselves. And at the worst case scenario, even if they don't end up buying right away, the comments on that will be like, bro, I feel ya. I feel ya. Which means more engagement on that post will mean future posts that you put out about anything, your account is going to get more reach because of it because you created something that got people engaged.
Yes.
And they say
There's no
happy wife.
downside to just showing the reality.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? We are batting 1,000. Everyone who has proposed at either Sunflower Festival or Lavender Festival, the answer was yes. So
That's true.
See,
I'm
there
just
you,
saying
I
it's
mean,
the safest place to do it.
that's also what you should put out there and be like unofficial results. If you want to make sure the proposal is a yes, here's what you have to do. And then you send it through, propose at this specific event.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So like
right.
always build your main event page and then duplicate to customize the language because you still do have to customize it. You have to have a different URL so that like search doesn't hate you. But then the other thing you asked about was like referrals. Talk about a referral program. This you
Yeah.
set up at the end of everything. Once that email goes to them confirming after they buy, think of an incentive that will get them to bring your friends. Use this code and it can be customized to them. Bring more friends with you and they save $5 and so do you. That's actually an event that I recently signed up for. I have shared that referral code so many times because I got a $5 refund and they got $5 off their registration for the next one.
That's right. That's right.
Or cheaper
Yes,
incentive
and,
or
we use Ticket Spice, and Ticket Spice I know has that as, like, a built-in feature
100%.
where you can, like, turn it on and
For what it's worth, in case anyone else does not use Ticket Spice or they use Ticket Sauce or one of the other ones, they all have the option for referral codes. And it'll be a customized one that goes to that person. And whenever it's used, you can do a monetary one of saying they'll save $5, or you can do a gift of some kind, like koozies. Super inexpensive, but like we'll give you a free gift upon arrival. You just show your ticket, right? You show us this thing, you check, give them a koozie, give them whatever your least expensive merch is. That will still be something that they actually use and will want to take away. Or even say it's a surprise gift. If you're like, well, I don't know what we can do with this, just say they're going to get a surprise gift for everyone that comes, or they get extra food and beverage ticket, or like, again, look at the accounting on this, but what is something that is very low investment for you, but high reward on their end that will help the experience.
So wow, we got way off and into the weeds, and that was really cool. Let's zoom out just a little bit because what we've been talking about in very specific examples, I think, is a great roadmap for people to start following. How does all of this? How does all of this at the 30,000 foot level? Right, Maple Lawn Farms has many subset events, and we've talked about kind of narrowing things down to very specifically all the way down to different people who might be coming to our lavender festival. But how do you build all of these promotions to create a unified brand if you, Channing, even believe in unified brands? And if you do, could you tell me what it is?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm asking for John.
Yeah. So I think one of the first things to just remember above anything else when you're building out a marketing plan like this is that there is a real human on the other side of every post and on the other side of every email. If every one that you send out is about you asking for something, give me money for this event, give me money for this event. Oh, wait, don't forget to sign up for this webinar we're doing, or don't forget to go watch this thing. I'm asking you to do a lot. So what you want to make sure when you're planning it out, let's say you have 4 events in a year. On average, you're going to want to do probably, I'm speaking from just a social media perspective at the moment because it's easier with math. You'll do probably 10 to 12 posts for each event. You can, and if these events are happening, they may tend to overlap the wrap up of one or the last minute promotions of one with the announcement of another. That's okay. What's less okay is doing them back to back. Space them out with just pure, here's a cool thing happening at our farm right now, or here's photos of people doing fun stuff with zero agenda. Okay. So that's where you mix, like, in a marketing world, we talk about content pillars. This is like the 4 to 5 things that everything ties back to. If you have 4 events, your 5th content pillar is life on the farm. And it can just simply be showcase if you have animals. Animals do ridiculous things all the time. Just showcase a funny video and be like, making your day happier. Here are some goats. Okay, great. Totally random, but funny, right? Or it could be even as simple. I can't believe how well this actually did on my own page. I ate a donut on a farm tour. I literally just held up a camera as I was sitting there and I just made a really funny face as I ate a donut. But the reaction to that, it said nothing else other than enjoying carbohydrates. And everyone laughed. It's like, big fan of carbohydrates over here, definitely. It was a simple thing that reminded people, oh, wait, this account, like, they're people. There are people that are posting this too. So you can keep, I'm trying to promote a variety of different events. Awesome. Absolutely. You are a business. You are not a nonprofit. And even then, let's say you are a nonprofit, they still need to bring money in. It just means they're not making a profit. It's
Right.
still more costs, right? So just make sure you're mixing the we're humans. Here's a lifestyle related post. Here's something with no other agenda other than it is funny, it is educational, or it is informational.
This episode is sponsored by the Hen House Hustle, and trust me, it's exactly what your guests are looking for. Fun, memorable, and built to keep people coming back. Learn more at thehenhousehustle.com. And now back to the show. Today's episode is brought to you by the Animal Racers. Ready to add a big thrill to your park? Find out how at animalracers.com. And now, back to the show. Today's episode is brought to you by MazeQuest's Maze Catalog, helping farms create unforgettable corn mazes and stronger agritourism businesses. Join the funnest group of farmers in the world at mazecatalog.com. And now back to the show.
So what are John was probably about to ask. I interrupting you, John. I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
buddy.
That's
Go for
okay.
it, man.
I was just going to say, like, man, now you put me on the spot.
That's true. You were going to ask about the content pillar.
I was. With the content pillars. So you said that if you have 4, your 5th one should be the day-to-day lifestyle just of the farm to kind of back off the just constant marketing.
Yeah.
But what would you say would be the first 3 or 4 before that, just day-to-day life? Should it be like a specific event as one, or should it be one portion of the event, or what are we looking at?
For seasonal, yeah, how do they fit into seasonal,
Right.
weird seasonal attractions like us that even shut down? Like for months on end, we're shut down, right?
Yeah.
So
This
it's
is the
like we
beautiful
have,
thing about those months you're shut down is when you're creating content for the rest of the year where you're like, I can't breathe. There's so much happening. So we don't have people coming. There's a chance to work on the business rather than in the business first. The other thing is the answer to your question about what the content pillars should be. This is really going to vary based on what the business structure is from one farm to another. But I will give you an example that if you have, say, 2 or 4 marquee events, you can use those as your content pillars to start with, and then just everyday life, on the farm as another one. Okay. If you have an event every single month, then you need to put events as one pillar in and of itself. Okay. So, with that event marketing, I also want people to remember you can market an event through visuals without having to say, hey, come buy a ticket. You can show 15 photos of use that content from the Lavender Festival throughout the rest of the year without mentioning it's the Lavender Festival. We can see it. It's people having a good time. I'm imagining there are lavender flowers all over the place. Like, this is going to be evident. So it subliminally gives you an opportunity to use your content in a non promotional way, but it also gives you a chance to show people what they can expect and then write something over it. If it's like a reel, write some cut lines about whatever it is that's happening in the off season or something relatable to your audience. Mother's Day is around the corner. Don't forget, this is your sign to buy your mother flowers. Or did you forget your anniversary? This is your sign for this. Is your bestie just graduate from some big program they were studying for? I don't know. Depends on who kind of your market is, thinking of like flowers. But I think those can vary. I think good ones in a very broad scope for a farm would be everyday life on the farm, like literally the people that are behind it, because that is what makes people choose also one farmer over another is they like to get to know people, right? And farmers are really wonderful humans in all of my life experience with this. Very easy to talk to, just nice. I want to, if they,
Until now.
right.
To be clear,
I mean, what a little awry. No, but like if people like you, they're gonna find a way to support their business, right? If it's a choice in a budget standpoint between doing 2 different activities and they know the owners of one and they don't the other, they're gonna lean towards the people they know, right? And you want to make sure that that's always you.
that's right. So, what are some stinkers? What are some posts that farms you've just seen this? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've seen another one of these that like the owner probably feels like, man, this is really killing, but it's just an absolute nothing out in the audience.
Yeah. It's got to be the custom graphic that doesn't fit where it actually is showing up. So it's like people design a flyer for a full, 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then they just say, okay, let's just shrink it down and stick it on Instagram. I can't read that. That's too tiny. They didn't reformat at all. Or they kept 10,000 pieces of information on it, forgetting that I'm likely scrolling through on a smaller phone. So I need to be able to read enough to either get to the caption to see more or I need to be able to read it in general. If I have to try to zoom in on this, you've lost me. I
I
mean, you
know.
haven't
I
lost
feel
me
like
entirely.
I'm too short as well for those iPhone Maxes. They look like I'm talking on an iPad.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we're just little people.
but like that's I mean, it's so funny. I've actually used that expression before too with people because my phone is a lot smaller than others. But my type, mind you, is not huge. Think about that's another thing that I see from the type is too small. Think about the average age of your target demographic. Okay. Do with that part of your avatar, do they wear glasses? Do they have children or do they have grandchildren? Because that will also tell you what are they actually going to be able to read on their phone, right? And if that's where you're catching a lot of people, or that will tell you, are they going to be desktop users? Are they going to be the iPad user instead? In which case, I can design something different. So Canva is a really wonderful platform for fixing this because you can create a graphic there and use their Magic Resize feature, and it will resize your graphic for LinkedIn, for a email marketing banner, for a digital ad if you want to place it somewhere else. But even after it resizes it, you still have to adjust things and customize it for that view and then test it before you post it. Oh my gosh, it makes me nuts to see these. And I'm like, I am sheer curiosity as a marketer. I try to zoom in and see what's happening here. Biggest mistake ever. Always. If it was built to be printed out like this, it does not belong in digital. You
That's
have to
right. So
customize.
let's nerd out. So Canva Magic Resize.
Yes.
You're clearly a super nerd. So what other tools are like absolutely, but actually not just clever? And you can say AI, but I mean, do you have a Claude bot running on a Mac Mini to create 3 employees that you now don't have to hire? Like, what
Yeah.
tools are you really actually using, Janet?
So I'm a real big fan of humans in general. So DCM Communications does utilize and support the use of AI, but it is not a replacement for humans. It's a tool that humans with a brain utilize to work more efficiently. And that is a hill I will die on. Like it is so wonderful. It is not a human. It cannot recreate. And as much as people want to use it for copywriting, for example, I can tell when you've put no human thought into that, and so can everyone else, right? We as all educated humans can spot 100% AI written copy. So use it to brainstorm to make things faster. Tell it, I want to reach XYZ people, whether it is Claude, ChatGPT, whatever. I
No,
want
go
to reach
ahead.
all.
Tell us which one it is. Tell us what it is at
I'm a
DCM.
ChatGPT user, and I've trained it on different client personas so that it's a matter of whose voice I'm trying to speak in and who
Yeah.
they're trying to
Is that
reach.
how you is that how you got ready for today? Did you train a custom GPT called Houdini so that you could chat with you and like get ready for the terrible interruptions, the ridiculous amount of interruptions?
No, so here's the fun thing is that having spoken to you at the NAFTMA conference, I knew exactly how entertaining this conversation was going to be. So I was like, no, we're showing up and we're just rolling with it.
She still did it.
That's true.
Poor judgment. I'm just writing that poor judgment
Hey, you
down
know
here.
what? Maybe it was my great reach out.
That was, you know,
That's right. If it wasn't for outbound Johnny here, we wouldn't have Channing on the podcast. Poor judgment. Now I spelled that with a G. Is that right?
That was poor judgment thinking
Judgment.
that.
it just depends on where the G is. There's a G in there, just not in the front.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
So how do we make all of these events pull into our one brand, right? How do you, I don't know that I even let you get to how how you think about one of your farm clients as a brand that has many events. How do we try to keep that brand pulled together when we do so much stuff from a winery to, there's just all kinds of different messages flying everywhere, or does it not matter?
So I think when we talk about brand, let's first talk about that a brand is more than colors and logos. That is a set of design elements that you can utilize that is just supposed to guide things. But your brand also includes your tone of voice and the way that you write. And that's something that should be consistent across the board. Your tone of voice, there should be one. I don't care if you're posting 50 different events that you're trying to promote. The colors that you use for each one of them and the photos you use may be different, but they're all being pulled from the same source. I should still always be able to tell what farm this is, right? So, example, if yellow is not in your color palette, guess what I don't want to see on any of your graphics? Yellow. Now, if you want to utilize a photo that has the sun in it, absolutely, that's a natural type of yellow. It's showing me a photo of your farm. It happened to be sunny, but I don't want to see yellow copy on there or yellow bars that you put copy over because that doesn't fit your brand. You should have usually 4 colors as your primary and anywhere from 4 to 6 as your secondary colors. Everything comes from that. So you can choose. I have 4 events in a year. That means the lead color for each event will be a different one of my brand's primary colors. So lavender, let's say, is even one of your secondary color palettes. Guess what? The lavender festival is lavender. The other events do not use lavender as a lead color,
Right.
right? It is just part of that. Lavender festival will always be lavender, white, and it should be a shade of gold because gold and lavender are usually complementary. But let's even say it's lavender and green, right? Some shade of like moss green or like a sea foam green. If that was in your color palette, then yes, you can use it. If it's not part of the
To look
brand,
up Steve Foam Green. I don't even know. I don't even
Yeah,
know what that
yeah,
sea
I
is.
don't
foam green,
Man, this is,
literally think about the ocean.
I'm learning. I've never been there. I'm inland.
Well, you can see she's got all of her books color coordinated, so she knows
Oh, that's
she knows
true.
colors.
Very aesthetic for a reason. Yes. Yes.
Get
I
a
know my
book called
colors. I'd be a
Seafoam.
terrible
Got it.
marketer if I didn't know my colors.
That's right.
Because you want to
Seafoam.
think about that. But if that's not one of your colors in your color palette, then you don't use it, right? You use the photography to showcase that it's lavender because let's say navy blue is the lead color. All right, fine. Then navy blue is the color we use for that. So you can make sure, like, take your set of colors, choose one per event, or choose one for marquee events versus like the U picks that happen more often, right? And U picks will have different photos to indicate what you can go pick that time, right? Like it will always have strawberries, always have pictures of strawberries, but every U pick is a navy blue marquee color. And then the photos of strawberries. And then you have oranges. Okay, great. You got oranges. Or then you got blueberries. Okay, great. The same thing as it indicates people start to associate, oh, this template is what's always used. This color that pops up is you pick. The photos are what I change out. Right.
Gotcha.
And if you're a brand that tends to like having a lot of comedy in it, keep the comedy. People like, if that resonates with people, use that across every event promotion. You're just talking about something different, but your tone of voice isn't changing.
Well, my tone of voice really changes a lot. I have a wide emotional range, Channing. It's more than you think. It's more than you think.
You know, I feel like there's a lot going on under the surface that only a select few get to know.
No, pretty much everybody gets to know all of it. That's the great part.
Well, yeah, just throw it out there. Everybody gets it
Our
all.
brand is
100%.
wide open.
Right. But those are the things that when you look at from a brand standpoint, as long as you stay within what your guidelines are for colors, you can customize events, give them a set color, talk about things in the same way. If all your photos are always crystal clear, keep them that way. Don't use a blur effect on one event and then no blurring effect on another. Always make them crystal clear. That's part of your brand guidelines. So you get to change your creativity from one event to the next. But the consistency in brand is that our photos are always treated the same way. Blurry, no blurry. Overlay, no overlay. A light color overlay, a dark one. We only use the set colors in our brand. We always speak in a certain fashion. These are things that make a brand stay consistent, even though they may be talking about different things.
So you're just like, you have your story, the way you tell your story, even though you're talking about a vast variety of different things, it's the same method of telling the story to keep the brand as one.
Always the same. And it's great if it's like whatever that brand voice is usually set by the owner, right? The owner of the farm is the one that people talk with. That's the one you're going to see on video more often. Maybe not. Maybe you have a social media manager and that's wonderful and that's who you see on video, but
We were riding a tandem bike inside a barn earlier today.
That is true. We were.
please tell me I'm going to see a video of that popping up on a social media channel
You
near
will.
me.
You will. Yes,
There you
indeed.
go. So that's actually a perfect example. If that's the kind of stuff you do, I don't want to get an email that's written by ChatGPT because I'm going to be like, well, this sounds like boring corporate. These guys don't sound like they're having a conversation with me. If you lean into that, yes, utilize the fact that y'all are on this, tandem bike and be like, we are the epitome of ridiculous, but you're never going to be bored when you talk to us. So that's why you want to show up. That is part of your brand. It's who you show up as. It's what people say about you when you are not in the room. That's the brand. It's just a matter of whether you're controlling it or other people are controlling it.
That's true. That's true. We just have to cut it loose at the winery, and then people be like, wait a minute, have they been drinking too much? Or is this just who they are?
Or are
And,
they just crazy?
Are they just crazy? Now,
But
Channing,
you're not
I wanna
crazy.
talk
You're
about
just
the
never
logo
boring.
police. That's right. I want to talk about the logo police.
Okay.
So it's been said that around here, I don't have the logo on enough stuff, but I also know of some farms that put the logo in the corner of every post they ever make. Where are you on the logo police for posts on site? I mean, what are we supposed to do, Brandmaster?
What are you supposed to do? So we're thinking about on graphics, right? On social media.
Graphic, but here, hey, when you're on site, when you're at my farm market, should I have 1 million logos in my in my farm market? Should there be 12 on the way to the wagon to get it, to go out to the lavender festival?
No, I
What
do
are
think
you doing, logo police?
every piece of signage needs to have a reminder for where people are. Because also, every piece of signage is now something people could take a photo of or record and share on their social media. Capitalize on that. That doesn't mean it needs to be humongous across the top or buried in a corner. You can treat it like a watermark, right? If you think about it, it can be in the background of a design and then copy is over it. It can be in the bottom position and it's in the bottom corner like a just simple stamp that was there. This is also where I would actually encourage people to utilize what you may know as your logo, your avatar or your submark. It's usually like, for me, for example, my company is DCM Communications. It's got a long thing. The DCM is here, communications is under. But everything else, all of my swag, all the brands, you just see the DCM show up a lot of places because it's become recognizable enough. And the logo, when it gets too small, if the oldest person that you've ever met will have to squint to read it, then you need to change out what that is. Okay. So, do I think you should put it on every piece of signage, especially for a specific event, right? If you're trying to lead people a direction, yes, every one of those is a touch point. Every one of those is hopefully designed in such a beautiful fashion that it is something people want to record their experience as they go through it. Okay. In which case, yes, I want you to have the logo on there, but it does not need to dominate everything, right? You don't need to have it really large on all of them. On a welcome sign, yes, welcome to this wonderful experience of how everything's begin. And then it gets smaller and the directions on there or the price listing or the things they can buy, the activities, whatever, that becomes prominent. Because at that point, they know where they are. They're physically on site. You don't need it to be there. And I would say that is just as much true of the swag and stuff that you're selling, is
Hmm.
that it doesn't always need to be the most humongous logo everywhere. I think both of y'all are wearing something that has like small here on like the pocket.
Yes.
The opportunity is to do something funnier on the back, something that's going to make people want to wear this shirt all the time, want to represent your brand out in the world. Putting the mark on a hat, right? Like that avatar, that submark, putting just that on a hat so people see part of it and then they have to ask. They'll wear it more often and it will then also become more well known now.
Gotcha. All right, logo police. I feel like we didn't get arrested
I don't
by the
think we
logo
did.
police.
Yeah.
We could do better. We could do better on
I mean,
our
yeah. If
directional
it's
sign.
taken up like, a third of every design that you're doing, you're kind of like it becomes like you're kind of yelling at people that this is where they are. So I think everything is about as with marketing in general, take a step back. What's the goal of this one thing? Based on that, then decide how big does it need to be? Is my goal to welcome someone or is my goal to get them to move to another direction? Is the goal just to identify what is happening in this space versus another one? Is the goal to get them to buy off of this menu, in which case your logo does not need to be large, your menu needs to be larger. You can stick the logo also separately over their head, make something that you can move around to different focal points that just stands by itself.
Right. And like you said, it doesn't have to be screaming in their face everywhere you go. But if you make it pretty enough and it looks nice for, like, say, a photo op, then anytime they take a picture, it's there. So
It's
then
there. Because
they
you
do the
want
marketing.
like once they come on site, okay, they've seen this, they know where they are. You don't want them to forget the name of the farm as they keep going through things. So having it there as a reminder, but it goes from, hey, we're telling you a big welcome to now a whisper of, oh, yeah, don't forget this is what you're doing. Oh, yeah, don't forget this is what you're doing. Because as they get further
Okay.
also into the farm, they're going to do more experiences and you want them showcasing that. You want them to become your brand ambassador so that they are posting on their social media in that moment of how cool it is. You don't want them to forget to tag your account or to put you as their location tag because they don't remember the name of the farm. They're just at this really cool farm for Lavender Festival.
It is funny, but I think people do show up. I mean, we've had people walk in to buy tickets at Maze Quest. They made it this far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're at the front desk and they go, "What do we do here?"
or they were corralled by somebody else. I just showed up. What is it that I've signed up for here? Like sometimes your friend's testimonial is enough to be like, oh, we're going to do this really cool activity. I have ended up in some very interesting situations because I trusted my friends and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, wait, what are we doing? And you find out it's like, oh, okay, sure. Let's roll with that. But you want that because those are people that they're going to talk about it. And whether you care about doing social media in the moment or not, the people that are showing up are absolutely doing it. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to tag your account and be your brand ambassadors for you and bring other people and create the content you can use in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do have one more hard-hitting journalistic question.
Ooh, bring it
might
on.
incite riots in our listeners because you'll be wrong and they'll be right.
Okay.
And then John has a lightning round of questions
All right. I'm ready.
for you to really put you on the spot and make you this way. But first, hard-hitting journalism. You have been to so many events, and I think one of the biggest let's just say amongst a number of teams is on the amount of information. Look how confused she is. Like, this is
I
going.
don't know where this is going, and my head has got so
idea
many
what's happening
potential
right now.
ways to fill that question.
It's very dramatic.
It is.
And the amount of information on the signs at the event. School number 1, you should be like, lavender, welcome. And that's it. School number 2, you should have no pets allowed. Lavender, you're allowed to use the scissors for 26 minutes. When you have a lavender, you should have approximately 27 and a half stems. You're allowed to use 4.5 yards of wrapping part for your thing, right? There's like ridiculous amount of signs and incredible level of detail so that we've told everyone. And then there's welcome. No more signs.
No,
Give me how are event signs done right?
Stop thinking about them as signs and start thinking about them as nuggets of information.
Okay,
So,
give me
example.
Channing's nugget theory.
Right? The nugget theory is this. I mean, let's be real. How much, if I gave you a piece of paper and said, oh, here we go, this is everything you need to know. How much time are you going to spend reading that? Like, how much time the last time you went on a roller coaster? How much time did you actually spend reading all of the warnings beforehand versus I'm going on this roller coaster, so like it's fine. Technically, they told you all the risks, but you did not absorb any of them because you were distracted by the experience you were about to have. So, yes, welcome people, right? The nuggets of information is take all of the things that you wanted, that's whatever the second school wanted on that one sign, break it up into maybe 7 different signs based on where, and you place them based on what people are doing at that spot. Welcome to the Lavender Festival, follow whatever directions. Like think of at NAFTA convention, it was follow the flamingos. And then you follow the flamingos to get to the next sign. And it would say, tip number 1, count 16 stems. Okay. And then there would be, and you can even say step 1 of 6, step 1 of 5, whatever it is. Count 16 stems, find the next flamingo. Then they are interested. Well, what the heck is happening at the next flamingo? Okay, I get to that. And you tell them one more thing. Because if people want to if you want to give out information, give them one piece of information and then let them do with that. If you give them 7 pieces at once, that's way too much. It's too much. It's too much. So if you think about like now on Instagram, there's carousels that have copy usually written over them. What is digestible nuggets of information you could put on one slide?
One slide, one sign.
One slide, one sign.
Nugget.
Yep.
Sign theory.
Yep. Break it down into nuggets of information. So instead of one sign that has, which let's be real, you put 5, let's say there's 5 rules. You're going to put that in more than one spot to remind people of what's happening there. Instead, take those 5 tips and print 5 different signs that they will actually read. Because if there's 10 words on a sign, I'll read that. If there's 50 words on a sign, I didn't come to an event to read. I came to have an experience. So I'm going to walk right by it.
That's why even at book events, someone else is reading to you.
True.
Look at that. Perfect example. They're like, I did not come for this because what was your goal? Their goal was like they wanted to come to have an experience that you're offering.
Girl needs to have her glitter wine, is what I'm saying. She doesn't
That's
want to read no rule signs.
that's what I'm hearing.
They really don't. They really don't.
Okay. That could be your next book. NST. Channing's Nugget Sign Theory.
Nugget sign theory. There you go. Break it down. One piece of information. The same reason I said an email campaign, each email has one goal. Unless it is a newsletter, which we're still going to say they need to read, not click through to everything. But the goal is like you send out one email, you can put the same link in there, 6 different points, but it has one goal. Just one. We are very simple humans. If you give us 7 options, we will take none of them. If you give us one option, we'll either take it or we'll walk away. But the chances of us taking it are much harder. Analysis paralysis is real.
Yeah. EEOG is what that's called.
Yep.
Every email, one goal.
EEOG,
Yep.
I like it.
That
Yep.
it dovetails with.
Well, and just think about it this way. It makes your life it makes it simpler. I don't have to find 5 different things to put in here. I need to decide on one. Your life is easier because you decided, I want one thing to happen here. Great. Do that. Get it out. Then
One thing.
in a week later, I want one thing to happen here. I'm going to share one thing. One thing is easier to retain. 15 things is overwhelming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I just to kind of wrap up here, I'm going to get into our lightning round of questions. So
let's do
I'll
it.
just do a quick question and then just answer as quick and as short as you can.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. What is one thing that every festival landing page should have?
The button to buy as high as possible.
I like it.
We don't actually have the right answers, but I was pointing to you because I agree. That was
Great.
go.
And then what kind of content feels very simple, but it consistently helps raise sales?
B-roll of people actually on site doing something.
Okay. And then what is one way to make an event feel premium without them having to spend a fortune to be there?
Customer touch points, more staff, welcoming them, walking up to them to do things, helping, assisting. White glove service, more bodies on the service side of things.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
And then last question here. What is one question that every event owner should ask before spending more money on ads?
Did these even work before?
My eyes are kind of bad. That's why I wear the glasses. And I thought it said abs. I was like, no, you should definitely spend more money on abs. Because if I were you at abs, even more people would come to this place. It'd be great. All promotional
just
videos.
remember how
Oh,
brilliant it was.
fantastic.
Not wrong, though. Think about how many years Abercrombie and Fitch had shirtless models standing at the front whose only job was to stand there with no shirt, and how many people that brought into those stores. They're not stupid. It worked. But yeah,
That's right.
I would
This
say
is-
ad
This is the
campaign.
protein shake. I'm working on it.
I am all for like throwing money at a problem and making it go away, but you need to find out before you recreate ads or you do them the same set all over again or you put any money towards it. Look back at what actually converted. Because saying, oh, well, we did Google ads and we got so many more sales than we ever have. Well, did they come specifically from those ads? And how much did it cost in order to get one sale?
Right. And you don't want to attract the wrong audience for your event.
Well, and you don't want to be spending money on clicks. You want cost per conversion is what's going to be more important from an advertising standpoint. Be like, oh, all these people saw it. Great. How many actually bought?
Yes.
Right. Or even if it's well, we doubled our money. Okay. But if you do it a little more strategically, could you have tripled your money? I literally just went through this with another client and they're like, oh, we got to do Google ads. And I looked and I'm like, your account, like you spent so much money. He's like, we made so much money last year. I'm like, yeah, but you could have spent a third of what you did and made more if you do it strategically. But he never looked at the numbers. He only looked at the end result versus how much went in to make that happen.
Man.
So it happens. That's why you need people who know numbers.
Channing, you are so much more than a person who runs around with a video camera. That's harassing people like me, to answer. And I think purposefully you were just trying to generate a large blooper reel.
I mean, the blooper reels did turn out amazing because what's so funny is almost everybody stumbled with the exact same part, which is tell me the name, your name and your full farm name. And the number of people were like, nope, definitely not my farm's name. Let's try that again. I'm like, But it's that having that
Fantastic.
camera right in front of you, it can make a big difference. People could freeze up, but it does make for a good time. And if we did not have those bloopers, you would we really be here? It was memorable. So
It
like
was
here we are.
memorable.
Good things
That's
come.
as long as they're talking about you, right? That's all that matters.
Plus, we
It
did
just
just return the favor for the past hour. So,
That's true. We've been bloopering for the last hour. No, this is really wonderful. I think learning about and thinking about the content pillars. I mean, in my notes, right, beyond nugget theory of simplify your signs, which I think
Yeah.
a lot of places could certainly do. Uh, Staying human, even if you use uh, AI things, and particularly going through and thinking about we making each event feel like itself within our larger brand.
Mhm.
That's some thought work that I don't know goes into a lot of it. Uh, and then finally, I think I'd take away the idea of going to the landing page that connects with the email subject line that made you want to do it and read the email, and then I have to complete it by getting those clicks because of course the clicks are what get you that email reputation, right?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
it's the opens help too, but it's the clicks are what's going to get like a conversion is just they took the next action you wanted. So opening that email, conversion point one. Conversion point two is they clicked the email and got to your landing page. The goal then of the landing page is to convince them, yes, I want to buy. So that's where it is. They're not buying directly from the email. What they're doing is getting to another page that makes it faster for them to buy. That's why I want that button as high as possible. And then every time new information, buy this now. New information, yes, I want to be there. New information, yep, I still want to be there. All the way down the page until you get to the end. Some people will scroll all the way down, but every piece of information you feed them could be the deciding factor. So make it as easy as possible for people to buy from you.
Yes. And what did I miss? What did John miss? I should say. What did John miss today that you want to make sure that all of the people all know?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that you will hear from people in marketing, myself included, of all so many things you can do. You do not have to do all of them, and you do not have to do all of them today. Okay. Like you need to do something to market your farm every day. That could be posting to your Instagram stories. It could be making a phone call to a vendor partner that you've been trying to get a relationship to move forward and do a partnership with. It's something that gets your brand out there that will help move forward, right? It could be a post on Instagram. It could be a post on Facebook. It could be a lot of different things, right? You can do a lot, but don't forget that 90% of the time, the advice you're getting of you should be doing this is like, well, yeah, if you have a 20-person marketing team, you absolutely should be doing blogs and SEO and now AEO and ads and social media and email marketing, right? Like NPR. You should be doing all those when each one is a full-time job that you can dedicate someone to it. So without that, look at what are the things that convert the most and focus on those and let the rest of it fall by the wayside until you can either throw money, time, or people at the problem to fill out the rest of those gaps. Focused on what converts the most for you and let all the rest of it go by the wayside.
I remembered another genius thing you said. And then John, we can wrap it up and give this girl her her,
I
her
was gonna
life
say,
back
I had,
after this crazy intermission.
I do have one more question.
Oh, we do have one more
Okay.
question. So the other thing that I love that I really want people to hear is um, the experience that you create. Yes, must be incredible, but it is not alone
Mhm.
going to do the marketing job because it's essentially if the experience is already on, it's too late, right? You're already in the middle of the event.
Well, you're just prepping for the next one. Like every event and all of the prep to get ready for it is an opportunity to market it. Because the event itself, yes, you want all of those people to have such a good time that they come back. But also, the second they walk away, they'll remember having a really good time a week later at this event. They may not remember where it was or when it's going to happen again. That's why continuing to do, oh my gosh, best day ever, or showing video from this while you're talking about something completely different, it reinforces to them what the event was. So not only do they want to come back, but they want to talk about it to their friends. And all that content you capture on site is what you will use to market to more people who have not come. So the experience absolutely matters, because if it sucks or if things go awry, that's not going to help you next year, but it also could hurt your brand reputation now. So provide a great experience, but also capture it and utilize that to make selling next year that much easier.
Yes.
All righty.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
My final question was more of a plug for you with your productivity in pockets.
Yes.
I just wanted to give you a chance to speak about that a little bit.
Tell us about pockets.
Yes, absolutely. So I mentioned, you work on a farm, you own a farm, or you work on one, you have 10,000 hats that you have to wear in a given day. And I said, like, it's really important that you do something for marketing every day. Okay. You don't have to do everything, but something. So I created a guide on request, actually, by one of my clients of, I have 15 minutes. What can I do? Well, now in those little pockets of time you find yourself with, this guide has a list of what you can do in 15, 20, 30, and 30-minute chunks of time. So if that's all you have, go find this list, check something off the box and be like, great, I did this thing for 10 minutes, move on with marketing. It could even be engaging on your page. It could be sharing. It could be commenting on other people's stuff. It could be writing the email. Then the next time you have another 15-minute chunk, you actually set it up in the system, right? Use it as just, we need a barometer, move forward. And I tailored it to specifically be for the agritourism industry, right? So very simple download, lots of options. You can read it on your phone, or you can sit there and I tend to print things out because I'm still a paper person, but I have things like in paper and have it there. I got 15 minutes. What can I do? I got 30 minutes, and it breaks down. Do this time. Next time you have 30-minute chunk, there you go. See, paper. Next 30-minute chunk,
We're
go
dating
do this
ourselves,
thing.
Channing. Stop it.
Right? Like, it makes a difference. It makes it, but not everybody has. Some people sit there and use like a digital list for everything because they're on the go. And the good thing about this guide also is in there, if you are someone that's not at a computer because you're actually out working on the farm all day, it's fine. You can do a lot of this stuff from your phone, because voice dictation is wonderful for writing as well. So it is very possible to do a lot of this on the fly. You don't have to sit at a computer to make progress.
And
So
we've got a link.
Yes,
we have the
for
link.
our listeners, we have a link that we will put in the description. So if you
Have
pockets
or need pockets.
it'll be there
do
for you
have
to sign up.
Pockets.
Oh, trust me, I have plenty of pockets.
Productivity in pockets, little pockets of time. We all find them. You're waiting on somebody. Great. You got 5 minutes. Let's make it productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad. Not just entertaining, right? Like, I actually have some pretty good tips every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
we'll see you next time on
Right,
Positive.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks for listening to Positive Business Action. If this episode gave you a useful idea, take a second to follow the show, leave a quick rating, or share it with someone who could use it too. That's what helps this show reach more people who are building something meaningful. You can find links to full episodes, resources, and ways to connect with us in the show notes. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep improving, and keep taking positive business actions.